LRBAquatics.com. Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, I hope it gets better for you. So today, we are going to be setting up a new aquarium for breeding guppies and cory cats. The good old Corydoras. So let me flip you guys around here. This is the tank we're going to be working on. This is a 40-gallon breeder. And it's already got a little substrate in it. It's for the most part bare. That's just a residual of a bag that I threw in there. And this is kind of like another similar setup, but this isn't what we're going to use. We're going to do something a little different. But this is another good example of breeding guppies and then keeping cory cats with it. If you don't have plants, you could use algae. I did a video on that. If you check back like maybe the last 10 videos, it may be in that. Also, same situation. So this is the tank that actually inspired me to be setting up this tank that way, because this tank has some Sterbai Corydoras in it, and they actually laid eggs all up on the glass in the algae, and these guppies have been breeding in here. The eggs were too big for the guppies to really mind, and it was the first time I ever bred a cory cat, which I was super stoked for. And I visited Eric Bodrock, which is a really well-known guy for breeding cory cats, and he has moss in a lot of his setups, and he actually does glass bottoms. And I also went to a guy named Jerry Jost just this week, and his tanks, he actually has a bunch of sand and moss in the tank, and I'm going to kind of use that as well with a little bit of this. And yeah, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So there's many substrates you can use. You don't have to use sand. You can use like Brightwell. You can use stone, pebbles, gravel. You could use maybe even what is that? That laterite, and Seachem has something else like a black fluorite. I believe that's what it is. What are you getting spooked about, cat? Watch. Whoa! Oh no! What are you doing, silly cat? Such a scaredy cat. But what I'm going to use is actually this here, and which I think these 4 bags should be enough for this 40-gallon. I use Supernatural Premium Aquatic Sand. I can't remember if the name's on it somewhere. Nice and white. And the reason why I like the Guppy and Inler, or the Guppy and cory cat combination, now these tanks were filthy long time ago. Before this, they've actually been cleaning it up, believe it or not, because the cory cats kick up all that mulm that's in the sand, and then the guppies actually eat and munch off of it. I'm gonna set you guys up here, and I'm gonna get this sand in here to get us started. Let's look at the tank too first. So there is a piece of driftwood in there. I believe that is Malaysian. Yes, that's a Malaysian Manzanita branch. I got a couple rocks in there. There is a couple shrimp in here, but I'm going to just slowly pour this in here. The shrimp will swim up. They'll be all right. They'll get away from it. We'll bury this, pull it up, and grab it back. So we're going to do this quick and easy. Hopefully, that's the idea. Shouldn't take too long. Get this poured in here. A lot of people ask me, can they just pour sand on top of their old substrate, or just add it into their aquarium that they're already keeping? And you can. The best way to do that is drop the water level with sand. Since sand is real light, it'll carry real far. So if you try to add it with a bunch of water in the tank, it can be problematic. But if you lower the level, it keeps it from spreading. And then when you add water back to it, it helps pushes the sand back to the bottom. Eco Complete, gravel, stuff like that doesn't matter as much. You can do it with the water level almost to the top. But you don't want to do that, because if you add rock in and it's to the tippy top, you can overflow water too. So you got to think about the density that you're putting into the tank added with the rock. You know? And Grab this other bags, get these in here. Yeah, I think 4 should definitely do it. And I believe these are either 10 or 5 pound bags. Yeah, 10 pound bags. They're only like $5 off of Petco, which wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all. So you can get 10 bags for like 60 bucks. And that's free shipping. That's a pretty good deal. 10 bags will do a couple 40s easily. And you'd have some left. As you notice, I'm not caring too much on how I spread it out, just kind of getting the mounds in there. That way I don't bury that shrimp either, because I could spread it around while I'm actually working on it. Hopefully the Wi-Fi does all right in here too. I can't even see the camera, so I'm going blindly on this. But I figured I'd take you guys for the ride anyway. Give you something to do. I was going to do a video on breeding endlers versus guppies. I think I'll probably do that tomorrow or something. Which that should be a pretty good video too. So now just pull this up. I have a piece of paper towel on it to keep the plant wet. This tank's actually been sitting here like this for, I don't know, maybe two months or so. And now I can't see anything, so I just blindly fill around and spread the stuff around. And I try to keep the sand back. I'm starting to do something called banking and aquascaping. They do something called banking where they actually push the substrate away from the front and more towards the back, so you can actually see more of the scape. It kind of gives it more depth and dimension. Little trick. Nice little trick. But yeah, you can see it's nice and still dirty and moldy, so I'm not going to have to worry about cycling this or anything. So the next step, pull you guys down from here. I got to clean my arm for sure. Get you guys flipped around here. So yeah, it looks like, glad to see that it's still running, since I didn't get to see that. Dust bowl wasn't that bad. No, not too bad at all. Wait till I add the water. We're just getting started. So why that's settling a little bit, I guess. It's pretty mucky. Now if you wanted to go another step, you could just pull that water out. I'd pull that water out all the way. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Especially before I get the moss in there. Do I want to do that? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Clean it up just a little bit. Show you guys how I do that. Actually, what I'm going to do first, let's go get the remote here in the garage. Lucas, do you still use eggshell in the aquariums? No, I don't. I don't use eggshell in the aquariums. I actually use a GH booster. It's not practical for me to be busting up eggshells like that. Like, that's a cheap, effective way, but this stuff's $6 a pound. It actually works really great for me. Here's this remote. Ah, here's this remote. All right. You guys are flying. Cat's just hanging out too. This is Squeakers. Alright, hopefully you guys can handle all this flying around the fish room. There's the remote. Get this thing turned on here. Flip this open. Go ahead and get the water running in, clean water. That way I got more to work with as I'm pulling it out. Which luckily I got a nice system. Pythons are great. Some people have to use buckets and stuff. I'm a little spoiled, but I worked hard for that system. I put that all in myself. It took me a whole summer. And I'm gonna pull this out. Oh, and what I'll do next, you guys won't see this part too much, but I'm gonna pull this bucket over here, and I got this remote to turn on the pump. So this is U for utility, on and off, and then I've got my hoses. So these are for my top ones. since they actually pull a lot faster due to gravity. And then these are, actually no, those are my bottom ones. These are my top ones because they're longer too. And then my bottom ones are shorter, and I also got different gauges for that. And it kind of breaks it up in sectors too, so things don't spread all the way through the whole rack. There's some kind of preventative maintenance. Alright, get this thing over here. And it actually goes into my sump. The hose line that goes out of it. Turn this on here. Turns on that pump. Let's get this small one. Now since that water's flowing in here, I'm going to pull the water out from over here because that clean water is going to push all the dirt over here. And get this pulled out. Got the old siphon method, gotta love it. But it'll pull quick. And clean this up. Oh yeah, there's a lot of mold in there. Oh yeah, a lot of mold. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to do this. It's easy to say, just leave it, get it later. Best to get it. Best to just go ahead and do it. I was just watching something recently. It was talking about how it's not a good thing to make lists. Like, yeah, it's good to jot down a note or a reminder or something like that. But like a to-do list is like a graveyard of priorities or tasks. Because a lot of times we'll write them down, but then we won't do them. And it just becomes a graveyard because it gives us an excuse to procrastinate it more. So it's always good to just take action. Be tenacious, take action. Yeah, this is a good cleaning, and then we'll get some calcium in here. We'll throw some plant material. After I get done with this, we're going to walk through some plant options, what you could use to create these kind of setups and a nice environment comfortable enough to breed guppies and Cory cats in. And hopefully you guys can hear me over this RO system. I'm yelling pretty loud, and hopefully I'm not breaking your ears either. Whatever. It's a gamble. I'm here. We're doing it. It's live. Live. I'm going to be sad. It's going to be kind of weird when I start doing and editing videos. I love going live every day. Even though I can't see you guys in the chat, I know you guys are there. I know you're all hanging out and talking, and it's just nice. I like the lives. I really do. I think I'm going to take this all the way down. As much mold that's in there, I might as well. And then it'll just start off nice, clean, and clear, and this won't be into the water column as much, all this mold. And I'll show you guys how much is still in here. So I know there'll still be a cycle even if I do go all the way down with this water. To the point that I would feel strong enough in putting fish in here today and not having to worry about cycling it. But you can see how much it's already cleared up. Definitely worth it to do this for sure. Faux show. Nice having that water run, pushing it all the way over here. Oh, about to lose the siphon. Almost there, almost there. Getting there a little bit. Getting there a little bit. Alright, that's probably pretty good right there. Alright, pull you guys down from here. We'll let that fill up for a little while, and then we'll get the GH booster in it later. Gotta turn this pump off here. Let's see. Stop. Alright, got that off. Gotta clean our hose. Don't want a dirty hose. Always keep your hose clean. Nobody likes one all dirty and smelly. Usually I rinse it out real good all the way through, but since I can't hold it very well, I will save that for later and have Haley do it, because she's actually going to be doing water changes in here once I get done. Now, let's get out of this loud room and go get some plants. What do you think? Oh, wait, before we do, check it out. All these guys are ready to get out of QT. I think I mentioned that the other day. We did go through that the other day. Oh, Wesley's coming, I guess. Hey, bud. He wants to get in on the show, I guess, tonight. Wesley! Alright. You're here. So, what we're going to do right now, Wesley, is we're going to pick some plants in the fish tanks to put in with these Cory cats and these guppies to breed. You don't know yet, but I'm going to teach you all about that because you're going to be 4, right? Yeah. And you're going to be able to start helping Dad more because you're going to be a big boy. All right, so there's all kinds of choices you can use. You could use like the good old algae like you guys saw in there. Pearlweed's a good choice. Mosses are a great choice. This is like the giant willow moss. And Haley's over here getting some pictures for me for the internet. Das Interwebs. Good to have floaters in there. So the pearlweed, you could either set it down or you can float it up. I did just put guppies in there. They're pretty cool. Yeah, no fishes in there? Yeah. But Haley, I actually need this stool here. Subwasser Tang is also another good one. All right, buddy, I need up here. Pearlweed is taking off. I like pearlweed. Pearlweed goes pretty well. I'm going to end up using this Pylomoss. Haley, can you hold this black container down there up for me, please? Get this stuff out of here. I already kind of broke it up. This is Pylomoss. It's in here with a bunch of Rutus. I like to use it to breed those. I always keep this on my front side so I can just wipe my hands off. Super handy. I'm going to prop you guys up here. Hopefully this thing doesn't fall in here. Alright, and pull this out. With both hands. I'm just going to rip off the front. That way it can grow back to the front and then off to the sides. And it stays on the wall and it's got plenty of room to grow without getting overrun and creating algae. Make sure no fryer in it too. So I'm going to kind of wiggle and shake it out. Now I know if you don't have a whole bunch of plants to work with, leaf litter is a good option. Some people use spawning mops. Maybe try to think ahead and grow something out that you can use as like a moss or maybe a pearlweed or something of that sort. Other ground covers are pretty handy, but they're kind of harder to keep for some people. So it may be a different story. Thank you, Haley.
You're welcome.
Get the moss in there. Oh yeah, that's looking nice and green. Why not get some rainbows in there? Another's reflection. Oh, so beautiful. What do you think about those fish, Wesley? You like them? Wesley has been really interested in the fish room lately. I love it. He just comes out here and wants to look at them all the time now. Makes the papa proud. Yes, yes, yes. Makes the papa proud. Let me flip you guys over. Man, my gimbal's like going all wonky here. There we go. Get you guys back in order. Now I'm going to turn this RO system off here. Since we are live, and you wonder what's making that noise, this is big RO system. Love that thing. Big reason why I use it over my tap water is I just have troubles trusting what comes through my tap water. This just makes it better to have a blank slate. I know, buddy, because I turned it off. But you can see this water is looking nice and clear already. Still plenty of mold in there. Plenty of beneficial bacteria. Get you guys set up.
I need to get up here.
You need to get up here? Sure, that makes things easy, bud. Thank you.
What is that for?
That's so people can see. That holds things up. Can you get down so I can get these plants up there real quick?
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. You're such a gentleman. Alright, now let's get this moss in here. This log actually has some Physodin Fontaneous on it, which is cool. Hopefully it grows out too. And it shouldn't conflict with the moss too much. Now, guppy grass could be a good option, but I don't really like it when I'm using moss, because it will kind of get in and tangle up. But I do like to have a floater like the other tanks I have with the Cory cats. There's floating plants as well, because some Cory cats like to actually leave their eggs up top instead of on the glass. I think I may put this over here. Kind of split that up. Throw a rock on top of this moss. That'll help keep it down. Maybe use a couple rocks. Luckily they're already in here. Then that'll be some nice bedding for the Cory cats to chill and lay out in. You can also bury the moss a little bit to kind of help anchor it down if you don't have rocks. But there is guppy grass already in here. I'll make sure I get that out, because it'll become a tangled mess in the moss and it'll create a bunch of algae. Always does, always does. A better option for like a floating plant for up here would be like water lettuce with moss. Here's some more guppy grass. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is using some of this water lettuce in here. Had to throw that guppy grass away. But this tank needs a good scraping, cleaning, all that jazz. Then fill it back up. And this is what I'm talking about. See how that has a floater there? That's the water lettuce and the algae. But since this will be a nice clean start, should be able to keep it. And yeah, I'm excited. Just grab a little bit of this and throw it in there. I'm not worried about that algae. Now, a lot of this algae, actually, if you guys look back in the last couple videos, and you only need a little bit of this stuff to start. And see how this one fell over? You want to make sure that they aren't like that. That'll definitely drown them. It's easy to drown water lettuce if you get the tops of it wet. That's why a lot of people have troubles keeping it, because their air bubbler will keep splashing on top of the water lettuce, which keeps drowning the top of it. Just a little tip there for you. I have to get this underneath water though, or they'll dry. Wesley's trying to tell me to get down. He thinks he's the boss. But yeah, if you look here in these tanks, a lot of the algae is actually starting to go away since we've been doing water changes. It's been actually killing the algae. This algae used to be all the way over here. Cory cats loved it. But yeah, I'm gonna get this filled up and wanted to share you guys how I set these up. So once I get it filled up, it'll just look like a regular tank. And since we don't have the time to wait for it to fill, I'm gonna hop off here. Actually, I'm gonna answer some of your guys' questions first if you have them before I hop off of here. And yeah, we'll do that. And then I'll also update you guys on this tank probably tomorrow when I do the video on breeding endlers versus breeding guppies and the differences between the two. Because a lot of people think, oh, all live bearers are the same, but there are some slight differences to breeding them. And we'll discuss that tomorrow, and I'll update that tank once it loaded up and got water in it. Oh, come on, tank. You're not gonna be a good backdrop. Oh, well, at least I got more. How's that? If that tank doesn't want to be a backdrop, this will be the backdrop. Works for me. What type of cories will you be trying to spawn? I'm not sure. I haven't picked yet. What do you think? What kind of Cory cats should we spawn?
I don't know.
You don't know? I'll show you a couple that I had in mind. They're actually in this tank over here. So I may go for the dolefly over here with the orange top on them. They're right there, orange and black. Are these Nankies right here, point right there. Those guys, of course they're hiding. Now there they go, now you can see on the side of them. Or these Duplicarius, which are over here. There's one, oh, he just ran away, he's actually over there. There you can see him, sorta. Those I may try. Whoa, you about fell over that chair, mister. You better be careful. Woo, did that scare you? Yeah, good thing you're sure-footed, huh?
And I too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Severn Run Aquatics says Duplicarius all the way. I think that may be that's like the top contender. I got a ton of the Dolphoids. Actually, the Dolphoids, I got a trio in there and a trio in there. So probably not going to do those since they're already separated with some guppies and sand tanks. The Nackies are real cool, but I don't know if they're old enough. I was pointing over there, bud. Let's see. Thank you, missed the super chat. I did miss the super chat. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Let me scroll back and find out who sent that super chat. 54 Punchy, thank you so much for your super chat and your continued support. Your absolute doll. Says, what was that food we just saw? I was having troubles reading the labels. Oh, you mean all that Tetra-Color tropical granule bottles over there? Wesley, what are you hammering on? On that? This is what you use to break up rocks with. You be careful with that, mister. Good way to get in trouble. Lucas, what's the best way to keep your guppy lines pure? So having a couple different types, quit, bud. That's loud. Having a couple tanks and buying a couple pairs is always a good way to help keep the genetics deeper. And then mix the colonies every now and then. LRB Aquatics, do you have any plans to do a Cardinal Tetra breeding video? Yeah, eventually, hopefully one day I will be able to do that. Now that I got help, it's going to be easier to have time to actually focus on breeding projects and doing stuff like that. What kind of worms can I put in my potting soil substrate? Black worms, they're great. You get the black worms, they would be perfect. That's actually what I'm getting ready to do in this 240 here. Hey, you sticking your tongue at people? Bringing Goldie-Eyed Kai to GCCA swap next weekend. I wasn't planning on it, but I do got a couple around the fish room, the big ones that I can't really ship. So maybe we can talk. Shoot me an email or a comment, and maybe I'll bring some up. Oh no! You better calm down. Silly, silly, silly boy. Is there any big difference with breeding Duplicarius versus something more common? So a lot of Cory Castle, they kind of breed differently, but some do breed the same, so it's really hard to say. It really is hard to say. When I went to Jerry Jost, a lot of his tank setups were they were all pretty much the same, and he had over 125 plus different species, and it was all mostly sand and moss. And I actually went through a lot of those species, and yeah, he was breeding them all the same. And I think somebody's over here trying to get themselves in trouble because I don't think he knows I'm paying attention. What are you doing? Are you supposed to be doing that? You better get out of here! Oh, crazy kid. What am I going to do with this 3-year-old? But Perry Marsh, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says go with the Dupli or Duplicarius or Adolphi for the next tank, mostly because it would be other thing for me to spend money on, right? Well, I will definitely probably go with the Duplicarius. Perry Marsh, thank you so much for your continued support as well. Lucas, do you have panda guppies? If so, can we see them? I do got panda guppies. Why is it difficult to find female endlers? LOL. I actually have random female endlers for sale on my website if you are looking for female endlers. Will they be right? Oh, yeah? Nah. Oh, boy. We'll go look at these panda guppies real quick. And then I got to hop off here. I got to get Haley back to work. I got to get back to work. We got things to do. And I got to get this boy. Oh, is that how you deal with it? Just break down into a ball? My goodness. Hopefully the internet didn't cut off either. But here's the panda guppies. There's a female, big hefty female. You can see she's got the thumbnail dorsal fin. Super cool. Look how long his are. These are the Dumbo Panda Guppies. And there's a bunch of fry in here. Juveniles. Tiny, 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 tiny little guys here. Really hard to see. But I got the pearlweed floating in there. Works great for them. Perry Marsh says he wants to see the sea alani. Here's a reverse trio. I was talking about Perry. They're looking pretty good. I already got a nice color with them. They're in with some rainbow tiger endlers right now. But alright, I would love to keep answering your guys' questions. I could do this forever if I had the time and ability to, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to say adieu because I got tons to do. So, it was awesome having you guys all hang out with me and checking this out. And if you haven't liked the video yet, that'd be awesome if you do. And share it if you want. And yeah, till next time, everybody, peace.